Joining us, Lalita Kumaramangalam, former chief of the NCW, Ranjana Kumari, director CSR, Abha Singh, lawyer and activist, and Brinda Adige, activist, completes the panel. Good evening to all of you. The reason we are not having any politicians on this show right now is because we want to talk solutions. What has changed after Nirbhaya? Lalita Kumaramangalam, if you could take that first question.
Yeah, quite frankly, unfortunately, very little seems to have changed. The collective outrage that you're talking about, seems to be limited for a few hours or for a few days. And then as usual, it's life goes on as usual, and girls continue and women continue to be at risk in this country. It's extremely shocking that such incidents are now spreading from the so-called more unsafe areas in the north of India. I'm not saying it as a personal opinion, I'm just saying it as a fact that's being put out by many others also. At two cities like Mumbai and Tamil Nadu, where women are supposed to be relatively safer, well, apparently they are not. And again and again we do this on various television shows across the country, where we say that what have we done wrong, what are we still not doing right. Now I think the answers are out there for all of us to see, but for some strange reason when it comes to implementation we really are faltering. All the other panelists in this show have an enormous amount of experience and have done an enormous amount of work on this issue, but I think sometimes all of us, we just despair. I mean, when is this sort of outrageous, absolutely unacceptable, disgusting, heinous, inhuman, I can go on and on, behavior, when is it going to stop?
Ranjana Kumari, what will it take for things to change on the ground? We've spoken about Nirbhaya funds in the past, we've spoken about death penalty as a possible deterrence, but all of that is not working for sure.
Well, let's talk about what has not changed, because what has changed is very little, as I totally agree with Ms. Kumar Mangalam, but I think it's important to know what has not changed. What has not changed is the way we are looking at these cases in terms of justice delivery. So it has to go through the same process of years and years. And then finally, of course, everybody forgets to track them, and then justice delivery system is failing women in India. There's absolutely no doubt about it, because only 23 to 24% cases where really ultimately comes through the courts and some kind of judgment is done. But look at the way the police investigation mechanism. Have we changed anything there? We have not. Law and order failure, every time we pin down and say, oh, there is a law and order failure. Because gang rapes are not incidents which happen with one person or any. This is the kind of brutality. Inserting a rod in the vagina of a woman, really, you can say the cruel, the crooked, the kind of mindset that our young people are suffering from also needs to be addressed here. What are we doing about that? What kind of which political party takes responsibility of putting their worker to the task of sensitizing, to the task of going around and talking about dignity of women, value of women in society, giving women equal status in society? So that has not changed. None of them bother. They just, some of us are the ones who are feeling the pain of it, because they devoted 4 decades of our life. Now, this last point, what has also not changed is really hanging 4 people in case of Nirbhaya has really not changed this mindset. In fact, it has emboldened them, and they are killing the victims now. That was our fear, that you will not be able to hang 90,000 cases which are pending in the courts. You will not able to hang so many people.
And we'll talk about that. I'll get Abha Singh to respond on that point about death penalty. But before that, let's quickly listen to what the Mumbai police chief said, and listen to what he says carefully. We have a reaction from Hemant Nagrale, and if the director can quickly play it, listen to what was said by the police chief, because many people believe that these comments were insensitive.
अब ये खौफ है नहीं है, ये सवाल का जवाब जो घटना हुई है उसके 10 मिनट के अंदर में पुलिस वहाँ पे पहुँची है। अभी हर घटना होगी वहाँ पे पुलिस तो प्रेजेंट नहीं रह सकती है। पुलिस कैन रीच ओनली आफ्टर वी गेट इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट समथिंग। सो 10 मिनट के अंदर में पुलिस का रिस्पांस रहा है और पुलिस वहाँ पे पहुँची है और पुलिस ने जो भी बेस्ट करना चाहिए वो बेस्ट पुलिस ने किया है। 15-20 मिनट के अंदर में द पेशेंट वॉज इन राजावाड़ी हॉस्पिटल and our police personnel themselves drove the vehicle and took the victim to the hospital.
Abha Singh, what do you make of this?
You know, the biggest issue is that how can a commissioner say that police cannot be everywhere present? I would like to tell Mumbai Police Commissioner that you are sitting in the chair because law and order is a state subject and it is your duty to protect women of this country, women of your city. So if you cannot reach on time, the duty of a police officer is not to reach but to prevent a crime from happening. They have to prevent such rapes from happening. So I want to ask him, how come a person who already had a criminal record, how was he free on the roads? So rather than apologizing for not being able to protect, not being able to prevent such crime from happening, he comes and says we cannot be present everywhere. So that is one thing. Second issue is when this person had a criminal record from earlier, why police was not tracking him. Thirdly, he was a drug addict. The rampant manner in which drug is being sold openly in Mumbai, and a lot of crime takes place because of this. Fourthly, the conviction rate in rape cases is just 27%. So even if you have a law of death penalty, punishment for death penalty, nobody is scared of your law because all these criminals and the powerful know that you engage a good lawyer, and you will walk away scot-free. So when more than half of the rapists go scot-free, the law falls flat on its face. And a cop who says we cannot be present everywhere has no reason to be a police commissioner of Mumbai. And what is important, and my personal reading is that only at the time of elections, politicians come and talk of women empowerment, they talk of women's safety. After that, they are not bothered where the women of this country are leading to. Because women are not a vote bank, nobody bothers about them. You may talk of triple talaq, you may talk of women entry in temples, soft issues, but hard issues like law and order, like rape.
Right, only lip service is paid. Brinda Adige, Abha Singh is telling us only lip service is paid as far as women's safety is concerned.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. We are questioning the police today, but why are we not questioning the politicians? Why are we not questioning the Home Minister? What is the NCW doing? Why are all these people coming in to say that so-and-so is not doing and so-and-so is not doing? What has happened to the Nirbhaya funds? What is the helpline for women doing? What are everybody doing who are being paid to do it? Why do they think that they are doing women of this nation a favor? Nobody is doing a favor. And somebody said that, you know, we must ask ourselves, what is it that women must be doing? What should women do? Should women just sit at home? We must not go out, and even at home women are subjected to all kinds of violence. What we want to ask just now is, why is there no coordination and convergence between the entire
coordination, no convergence and no fear of the law. I'm sorry, but there is no fear of the law on the ground. Lalita Kumar Mangalam, as the former chief of the NCW, how would you answer that? What are women supposed to do?
I really wish I could honestly say that I had a reply to that question. Unfortunately, I agree with Brinda that there is very little convergence between the different arms of the law or the different arms of whatever should be protecting women in this country. The talk of empowerment is sometimes sounds very facile to me. Everybody talks about it, but when push comes to shove, a known criminal like this chap was allowed to roam free, and you have a police commissioner still sitting in his seat when he should have been asked to resign, though I don't know if even that will change things. A police commissioner who has the cheek to say that the police can't be everywhere. The bloody police is paid to be everywhere to see that women are safe. It's not their job to come in and give excuses later. But you know, these are questions and these are diatribes and these are points that we have been making ad nauseum. In Nirbhaya's case, the country forced a government to act, and I think the various sections of whoever may be in the government have now become so almost blasé about it because this seems to be happening every other
Absolutely.
day. It's
It is
painful,
happening
but I
every
really
other
don't
day
think
in
that
every
we
other
have
city,
answers
metro
for this.
cities, non-metro, mufassil towns happening everywhere, and we don't have an answer to it. The reality is that there is no progress, absolutely zero, after Nirbhaya. I thank all of you ladies for joining us on debate number 2 on the Newshour special edition.